Hello and welcome to the theElpyDimension. I am your guide, Elpy, and this is mixed worm bin number 2. Of course, this bin that has more recently been harvested, so we don't need to harvest. None of the worms were under the bubble mailer, which is, well, they're not far from the surface. These are no doubt pumpkin seedlings. You might recall that, let's see, we were in here on the 5th. Today is the 17th of May, 2025. So it's been 12 days. And I do believe I checked in after just a week, maybe even 5 days of putting the pumpkin in. Almost a whole pumpkin. That these guys have made easy work of that with coffee grounds and, yeah, it looks like. And it was all bunched over, but that changed quickly. So I was just going to give them grass clippings today. Obviously I just put whole pieces of paper in there. And now I'm like, you know what? I have a rotting acorn squash. Yeah, I don't even, look, here's the pumpkin stem. I think I also put weeds, as I've been. This is a nice little worm ball. This is a very healthy population for those who don't know. If you're new here, I have 6 worm bins. 4 are mixed worm bins, mixed populations, blue worms, European night crawlers, and red wigglers. Although 2 of them, one was initially a red wiggler bin only, and the other European night crawlers. Then I witnessed a blue worm at some point, not at the same time, in both of them, and was like, yeah, well, I guess they're, but you know, I don't think I ever seen blue worms over there, so, But then I have a Canadian night crawler bin and a blue worm bin. And the blue worms need to be upgraded. Look at all those worms down there. And no sign of the pumpkin. But, like all the bins right now, it would seem, we have an extraordinary amount of moisture. Okay, let me see if I can safely get a grip of this paper. Oh, look at that. I lifted up that paper from the bottom. And it's just very wet and tons of worms. No surprise. But very wet. So the worms love it. I think wet environments encourage worm breeding. That's what I've learned from other worm experts and worm professionals. So wet bins are what you want if you want to breed your worms. It's not what you want if you want castings, but right now, in the last couple of months, harvested the castings out of here. So I'm not trying to I'm not trying to harvest from here anytime soon. So the wetness is good. Yay. However, I think all the other smarter worm people than I would say it's just you don't want prolonged standing water. I don't have holes in the bottom of my bin, and you don't need them because you really shouldn't have that much liquid. And no, that's not worm pee. I mean, even if I'm prone to dumping lots of liquid in my bins, lots of water. So that's what that is. But even when that's not what it is, what you're dealing with is the juices of everything rotting in the bin. So that you don't really want that stuff. That's not like, ooh, let me collect that and give that to my plants. No. At the same time, I'm not going to freak out. I'm going to see that and be like, oh, okay, well, I need to get this under control, and by get under control, I mean I can't be too far off the mix, because when it comes to breeding worms, I do very well. I mean, they're doing all the breeding, right? But I'm obviously doing something right, that my populations have very strong numbers. I just am terrible when it comes to getting the castings out and getting the castings in wonderfully harvestable condition. But I don't sell my castings. I don't sell my worms. So that's not really like, oh no, you know, it's not really a big problem for me. Well, it becomes a problem when I need the castings and I'm trying to get it done. But I mean, like, it's not like it's just my problem. It's not anybody else's problem. Now, some of these castings are older. I didn't get this bin as harvested as I normally do. And so that's more, it's interesting to see the different colors. That's more paper. I mean, not to be gross, but it's not unlike anything else's poop, right? Like, it's going to reflect what you've been eating. But it's still interesting, because I personally have not made that observation. But you see, as I've been feeding a lot more like natural materials from outside now that the outside world is not frozen and covered in snow, which it hasn't been for a while now, but still gets kind of chilly. Today's kind of chilly after some really warm days. Okay. You see, we didn't see any evidence of the pumpkin other than seeds, the stem, and the sprouts. So the pumpkin is gone. They made easy work of that. They loved it. And I do think that I should give them that squash in addition to the grass. And I think we will check out what's going on this side. Give the bin a good stir. This stuff is way more, since we had that big pumpkin and it was so wet, we got a lot of paper over there and a lot more just castings over here. Again, this stuff was there was so much left over from the last harvest that it's kind of weird how many like old castings are left. It makes me feel like not adding too much new material to this bin and just try to get them to harvest again. I mean, look at, I think I left way more castings behind than I realize. I mean, yeah, I was harvesting, and like what I keep doing is having to harvest sort of piecemeal because it's either too wet, as was the case with this bin for a long time, or the worms won't move, as is the case with the other bin. Let's move some of this old paper, or newer paper. Well, all right. Let me go get this squash and get this done with. Okay, everyone. It's getting a similar feeding today. We'll have to do the blue worms next time. So here is the acorn squash. It has cracked here. So it looks like it's kind of dry in there. Maybe even moldy. Yeah. It's pretty dry in there. All right, well, I've decided that despite all the paper that's in here, oh, there goes my flash. We are going to drop this packing paper just all as one piece. And we'll put some grass clippings that have already started to break down in my compost bin. So they're already warming. Then we'll put our squash. And the rest of the grass clippings. The worms will thoroughly appreciate this. Then we'll put the old paper over top. Sorry about that bad camera handling. And we'll just spread everybody out. Tear this up a little bit. Because it's not that they can't break down whole pieces of paper. It just takes a lot longer because when it's torn, there's more surface area available. It makes it easier for everybody involved to break it down. So, didn't stir the bin absolutely 100%, but stirred it pretty. Got a nice look at things. And now I will put the bubble mailer back on these guys and call this a day. Yay! Except I know I didn't get as many castings as I wanted. Oh, I was going to put dry mix on that. Oh well. All right. Thanks so much for your time and your interest. Be safe. Be well. Bye for now.